It's best of 5 time. We are in the final of the last chance qualifier Group A. The first group of the last chance qualifiers. So one of the two teams that you see on screen now is gonna move on to the playoffs. It's either gonna be the Cats or the American team, the Freedom Exporters. Best of 5 series, which is also, of course, the first one in this tournament, which makes things kind of interesting because if we're going to, let's say, map number 4, map number 5, then teams could be pushed into trying to complete a couple of bounties, maybe trying to just play some things that they normally wouldn't, because again, every single hero can only be played once within a series. Cho'Gall gets immediately banned after the Cats recently used Cho'Gall. They completed the Cho'Gall bounty as one of the first teams. They still play Cho'Gall though whenever they get a shot here. And with Maiev obviously played in a previous game by Cure and having a huge impact, Maiev also getting banned. So it should be a fun series. I hope that we're going to go at least to game number 4. That would make things interesting here. The one thing that I have to highlight immediately though is that for the red team, for the Freedom Exporters, we have currently 2 subs. So Justin, who is their normal main tank, he actually had to go to work. So they have now Fancy Pants, aka Yeah Boy, on the team. And Madara, he already had to drop out on the final map of the previous series because apparently he has some electricity issues. Not quite sure what exactly caused it and what the problem there is, but they replaced him on the last map, and apparently whatever the issue is hasn't really been resolved yet. So Madara is still out, which means they're continuing to play with Hunter Orc here. So we currently have 2 subs on the red team. Good players still, so definitely something it can pull off, but might have an impact. In addition to them playing cross-server, of course, and having a ping disadvantage. Now, Diablo picked early on. We had Jojo against that. Cats, I would still argue, are probably the favorite in this for a couple of reasons. First of all, in their own group, they actually played against the Freedom Exporters, and they won that series. And second of all, they made it into the winner bracket and the loser bracket final of their group, and barely missed out on qualifying for the playoffs. That obviously doesn't really tell us if any of the teams is gonna go and play a bounty here, give themselves a handicap. Quick note, the bounty list in case that you're unfamiliar with it. Here we go. So teams can pick bounties, can complete them. If they do, they get a bounty point, a bounty ticket, and they dip into an extra prize pool only for bounties. We have 2 prize pools for the tournament. €1,000 normal prize pool for the top teams, and then €1,000 for the bounties, which just means that at the end of the tournament, we're looking at how many bounties were completed in total, how many bounties did each team complete, and then according to the numbers, you get a share out of that bounty pool if you completed bounties. So you can definitely get quite a bit of extra pizza money if you come in and you complete bounties diligently, which some of the teams have definitely started to do. But you don't have to. You can just play for the tournament victory and get the prize money there. Now Leo and Junkrat. So with Junkrat, for Infernal Shrines, the comms are... The start into this is great. This is obviously as standard as it can possibly get for now. But as we are progressing through the series and heroes are unavailable, we'll see. But now we get Leo plus Junkrat plus Jojo. That's really nice presence on the shrine. You have with Junkrat also, you can just like carpet the entire shrine from the outside with some grenades. And you're gonna be guaranteed to get value, being it shrine minions that you eliminate or the opponent that is eating the damage. So that's already a great setup for them. Then on the red team side, you get Malfurion and Tassadar. Tassadar is getting picked by the US boys quite a bit. That Archon transformation. If anything, I'm a bit surprised that they are banning out Tychus, because in previous games, for example, they also picked Tychus plus Tassadar. I think in one of them, did we even have them in the triple transformation going for Alexstrasza and the Dragon Queen 2? I don't think so. But we had Alexstrasza here as well. So, blue team. Again, for the Cats. What is the European team now going to do? We got Hanzo and we have Stukov. So, the Admiral is in the house. Admiral Stukov says hello. The Freedom Exporters. Can they make it to the playoffs? Their group stage was disappointing. It really was. But now they're only 1 match win away from qualifying for the playoffs. Can they send the Cats packing? That's the big question right now. And it's honestly a shame that one of the 2 teams is going to drop out of the tournament here. But yeah, it should be a wild series. Tracer is the final pick for the Freedom Exporters. And with that, we're heading into the first map, Infernal Shrines. Everybody, the Freedom Exporters against the Cats. First game in the best of 5, we have the Cats against Team Freedom. On the left, Nano. Actually, is not playing with the team. This is something that just always trips me up. I already explained it a few times, but this is actually not Nano playing for the Cats, even though oftentimes he does indeed play with the Cats. This is Nano's account played by Ty Chessa. So, yeah, fake Nano on Junkrat. We got Captain Rax on Stukov, Maitri on Leoric, Draki on Hanzo, and Herath on Johanna. Over on the right side of the map, we got Cure on Tracer for the Americans, the Freedom Exporters with Porky on Diablo. Prismaticism is playing Tassadar, we got Hunter Orc on Malfurion, and yeah boy, aka Fancy Pants, is playing Blaze. We play with 2 subs, so let's see if this is going to work out for them. Right now, we got on level 1 the Fetid Touch, and yeah, Leo, I've seen this before, but like that skin is not really doing anything for me. Leo on the other hand, great hero, nice, more pressure on Diablo. But I need that Ice Giant, I need the Janitor, there's so many good Leo skins, but this one for example is just bleh. I mean, if you already go for that Space Lord or whatever, then the normal one is way better, I suppose. This one, not really for me. Then again, down at the bottom of the map, already a bit of damage done. They are trying to follow up on Tassadar. I don't really know why, but it really just feels wrong when you see Tassadar riding on a normal horse. There are a couple of pretty cool Tassadar skins, the Mecha one in particular, which is really neat with the mount. But this one, Tassadar on a horse just feels wrong on so many levels that I don't even know what to do about it. Maitri at the top. Blaze again with oil spill everywhere, setting it afire. Somewhere Greta is crying. Ah, sorry, I forgot that she doesn't care about the environment anymore and switched to Legions now. But Greenpeace definitely is not happy about what's going on here. Blaze deliberately just setting everything afire, spilling oil wherever he can to slow people down. Even a killer's coming in, as we now have the Freedom Exporters with first blood in the game. So they take down Junkrat, and yeah, nicely done. Go for their own camp, able to lock that in, so it's about as good as it gets them. But, oh, Cure on Tracer is, I mean, they're getting the kills, but boy is he asking for trouble. Having the overheal from Malfurion is fantastic, but some of those were close calls. Works out for them though. They get another kill, they take Stukov down. That is now 2 kills to 0, and it allows them to invade the opponent's camp. So they're taking the camp away, and plenty of momentum now for them. Very early in the game still, but this is not too bad. A little bit of a leading experience, this can always help you around level 7. And if they can of course pick up a bit more, that would be even better. For now, they take their own Shaman camp, the same is true of course for the blue team. And then we're gonna battle for the first Punisher, the Mortar Punisher. So, Q at the top. Yeah, just playing this very, very slow and safe. Just freezing the lane here. Not willing to push that out. But the Shrine is activating. They're timing this one also quite nicely. And, of course, with that, we now have the chance to go for the first objective. It is Shrine time! And the blue team is way faster on this. They're not that aggressively playing for level 7. Tassadar, by the way, is going for the exact same build that we've already seen a couple of times for him, with the Khaldor Amulet into the Plasma Shield. Yeah, 18 stacks to 0. Doesn't really seem like the Freedom Exporters are trying to go for the Shrine and do anything about it. They're just staying on the lanes, get level 7. I'm curious if they maybe now try and make a move here, but it might be a bit too late already. But they are pushing in. So they're trying to go for Leo, and Leoric is still alive. Well, maybe not for much longer. Gets some heals, but he is mega low. I'm surprised that Tracer just doesn't come back and tries and take him on too. Yeah, okay, finally, there we are, and that's the kill. Tracer comes in, Cure gets the drop on him. The Mortar Punisher gets still claimed by the Cats, but there is a significant lead in experience now for the Freedom Exporters. Fade over the wall, easy for defense. Makes all of this just so much easier for the red team. They are going to lose, obviously, the towers and the wall, or at least some of it, but they've done the same on the other side. So when it comes to structural damage, it's roughly even. Diablo still fine, but Porky, careful, and he gets away. For now, things are actually looking pretty okay for the Freedom Exporters. They're the only team in the series that has gotten kills thus far. So despite the fact that they're playing with 2 subs, that's solid. So yeah, good for them. Now, down at the bottom of the map, still a couple of camps, and Nano is already on it. All the way up at the top. Leo might be in trouble again. Yeah, but Mitra gets away. There is a lot of pressure coming from the American team now. And despite the fact that we have seen the Cats win in the group, in the actual group, this could be, again, for the Cats, I have to say, for the Cats, it's a bit of a crazy situation. I talked about this earlier, but they were first in the winner bracket final of their group. They were so close to beating Team Copium and moving to the playoffs. Then they lose that series, drop into the losers bracket final, have another shot there, and again, barely lose. And now they are up against an opponent that they've already beaten previously. But this is all that matters, this series. Everything that happened before, nobody cares. So the Cats looked like one of the strongest team in their group. Could have gone to the playoffs. Now, though, they are behind in game number 1. And if they lose this series, then they're out of the tournament, and the Freedom Exporters advance to the next round. So there's a lot going on here right now. Level 10 abilities are ready. That gives us Archon, Bunker. Again, usual suspect picks. And with level 10s, they can start to steal a couple of camps away, and they're making moves at the bot lane to break through the wall here. Maybe even damage the fort a little bit. Slap for Stukov, Riptire, and Leorki is coming in with his Entomb. And at the top, well, Blaze is still burning things. Burn, burn, burn. Fancy pants. That poor horse, by the way. They're all running the pleb horse, and it is really a bit of a crime. I mean, Blaze in particular, that horsey is not going to make it. That is a full set on armor, and rumor has it that Blaze is a chunky boy to begin with. And then you have like a massive armor on that too. Like, that horse's back is wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Kida is having some problems with this. Okay, but can they get the kill? And I would assume yes. Moonfire? No. Alright, Tracer wasn't pushing this too much. I actually expected Leo to get his butt Moonfire there, but no. So they attack the fort again, down at the bottom. The wall is getting slowly destroyed. Everybody is getting ready for the next objective. Tacita, just like brrr, full on laser show over here. Yeah, completely specking into that style. They really like that build. Prismaticism has been playing nothing else whenever he chose Tacita for the team. But here comes now the fight for the second Punisher. Diablo already being put out, and he's dead. Diablo is gone, and now they're trying with Arrow, the wall, everything is being thrown at Blaze. He's still able to get out early on, but no way, he actually made it. Wow. Fancy Pants gets out, but the team is still playing a 3v4 for a bit longer. Now that Diablo is back, they could technically try and re-engage, but Blaze is moving towards the top. They're giving up on the shrine. Instead, what they're doing is push the middle a little bit, try and take the hit points off the fort, and more importantly, that push at the top, that is really paying dividends now for the Freedom Exporters. They get the entire fort. So, fort destroyed, and they have level 13. The Cats lock in the objective though, and with a Frozen Punisher, they might just be able to take out one of the forts as well. So they're certainly trying that here. But, yeah. Seems like they're trying to go for Tracer, Cure, and, well, that's him gone. Now, Leo dying at the top, that's a little bit of a setback too. That's a solo fight where he just died. So, yep, that's more and more damage now also on that wall. That camp has given them so much, it's ridiculous. To be fair, the Punisher at the bottom of the map has eliminated the fort with the help of the team. And now they're taking also part of that wall apart. It's a very similar situation that the two teams find themselves in when we're talking about not only the experience, the kills, but more so the structural situation on the map. 23,000 damage from Tracer. 20,000 from Hanzo. And yeah, they're still attempting to steal a few more camps. Down at the bottom of the map, we have the next camp claim. This time it's the blue team that takes it quickly. Junkrat. Junkrat is always having a fun one. 12,000 damage for him currently. And, well, the leading experience is still there on the side of the exporters. Freedom! Yeah, very important. So, Q at the top. He died once. Yeah. There's nobody in the middle to defend? What? Alright. Late to the party, but they're there. Oh, the Entomb. They got close. I don't think that if it hits that they can do anything with it. But they might have been able to dish out some damage at least. So, half a level until level 16. Freedom Exporters, they're getting there. Next talent tier is soon up. Plays with 100,000 siege damage already. And we are talking, of course, about an Arcane Punisher on the next objective rotation. Tassadar with the Shadow Walk now. And Virulent Reaction for Stukov. So they have a bit more CC that they can now use too. And likely will. As the red team with level 16 talents is invading the camp. And the blue team is not going to take that fight. They're going to annoy them a little bit with Junkrat, but I do not see a world in which they're saying like, hey, let's just fight against the level 16 talent advantage. That's just not happening. So, yeah, Junkrat is trying to get away here. Also in the middle, Stukov the same, trying to get out as the wall gets dropped. They have the transformation of Tassadar already. Lots of damage done here, but not enough yet to get them to that fort or get them a kill. They are trying to get the damage in on the fort itself, but that's not enough to drop it yet. But with the minion wave that is coming into play, I have a shot to take this thing out. Jojo is quickly eliminating the minions though. And Tracer is still playing at the top against not only Junkrat, but also against the Keep. So that Keep is at 50% HP. The Freedom Exporters, they are nibbling all around the edges. They're getting small advantages over the opponent on the mid lane structures, the top lane structures. They're still ahead by a level in experience, even though the talents will equalize in a second. But there's a lot of good things going on for the red team. Can they win the next objective though? Topside Keep is under even more pressure now that catapults are starting to move in. Diablo making the play, the barbecue in the choke point, and they're all low. The wall is there, they go for Jana, and Jojo is gone. That's a fantastic kill. Leo is also dead, Cure came in and dropped him. Those are some sweet plays from the Freedom Exporters, as they are exporting all that freedom. They're freeing them of their hit points and responsibilities, at least in this life. That's 6 kills to 2, the fort already gone, and they're crushing it. Freedom Exporters are absolutely crushing it. This is exactly the situation that I talked about earlier. The Cats, they're not going to be happy with this. They're like, we beat these guys in the group stage. Why are we here? And now they're falling farther and farther behind. Tassadar is going to deal with the camp there, with the minions. Cure is going for the camp at the bottom of the map. And Stukov alone. Actually, now that the rest of the team is saying hello, we might actually try and make a bit of a move. But Blaze is taking that objective. And they claim... Oh, yep, there's the Entomb. Still, I don't think that's going to be enough. The more important part is honestly that they got the camp. And Blaze is now getting the objective for them. Even with the arrow being YOLO'd out by Hanzo, they can't do a lot here. That's just cooldown burn. And the Arcane Punisher is now taken. So you have the Arcane Punisher already. Catapult is sitting tight. You have the camp itself. And they are moving through the top now. Can stop them rotating over here, but don't really have to. It's a safe rotation from the Cats. They're going to their own base. But they haven't baited anything over yet. There it is. Okay. But they're opening all of this up. The wall is fully revealed. And this could be the first keep of the game. If they are pushing in and look for kills too. Catapults are already homing in on the keep. And in comes Jojo trying to play this out. We have 14 minutes in. Not too much. And Punisher is about to be taken out. Yeah, they're not going too deep on this one. 19 versus 17. Again into I don't even think that they need the bunker here. And they have it anyway. So Riptire, Blessed Shield is missing. Blessed Shield went nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Here comes the Tranquility from Malfurion as they go for Jojo. The barbecue play from Diablo, and that's a lot of damage, but that fight is by no means over. The Jet Propulsion, though, finishes off Johanna and Leoric, sets them up to be killed by the opponent. That is 8 kills, 2-2, and they can again go for the keep. Bot side, there's a catapult moving in. So this is something that has to be defended eventually by the Freedom Exporters. But they should now be able to move there into the middle and take this keep out. Tracer's already doing exactly that, just rushing around it. Tasta, of course, with a long-range attack, can also slowly eliminate it, gets the Side Storm in, and that's the keep gone. Question is just, are they just doing the same thing up at the top? Jojo is down for another 14 seconds, for example, so you definitely have an opportunity here. And they're trying to use exactly that. The slaps are coming from Stukov. Blaze is gone. Tracer still thinks she has this, and actually might, but yeah, they connect the bomb and then have to retreat. They can't take the second keep out. They have level 20 talents though. Total Recall, we got the Force Barrier, and we got Serenity. So, well, for the Cats, still down in experience, no level 20 talent. You lost your first keep and your second one doesn't look too hot either. You got 53,000 damage on Hanzo. Top damage in the game. Tracer coming in second place with 47. And then Junkrat, also looking pretty okay. Hanzo's the only one on the blue team that has not died yet. Boy has been able to keep himself in the back the entire time. Has not fallen, so he's still fine. Yeah, and they're starting to steal more of the camps away. And Tracer's just finishing what she started earlier. Comes in, eats a couple of the shots. Can easily go for recall after that. But yep, that's that. Easy Hearth, no problem. And of course, that's 2 keeps gone, which means that we're going to get massive catapult pressure through the top and the mid lane. Those are also the 2 lanes where we still have forts for the red team. And the entombs that we're getting from Leoric, just not enough to really put a dent into any of this. That's a problem. But blue team is at least getting their own level 10 ability, their level 20 ability. At least they're close. Not quite there yet, but they're very, very close. Now, Fancy Pants down at the bottom of the map. They're still burning this one out as quickly as they can. Next objective is going to be a big one, so each team taking their Shaman camp again to collide up at the top. And this is going to be the big fight. Now we have level 20 talents for both of the teams. They go for Leo. Uh-oh. Yep, Leoki is already gone. He should be respawning during the fight again, but that hurts. And Jojo gets trapped. The Riptire, it's not going to be enough. Riptire gets eliminated, but the blue team is already retreating. Mitra can be used as an observer board right now. Double check what's happening on the shrine and maybe slow them down a little bit. But they're taking the lead in shrine minions. The Freedom Exporters are getting a lot of value out of this. Leoki is going to be back soon, but not yet. And the red team is pulling farther and farther ahead on the objective. They're going to grab this one. Undeniable. And the Cats are realizing it too, so they're just simply moving away from it. Oh, Blessed Shield thrown out by Jojo, and Tracer dodged it completely. Kyo was able to jump away from it, so no connect. That's another cooldown burn. This one is the easiest one to take down. It's a total freebie here. And the final keep, this is the last keep. This is the last keep that they're holding. The Cats only have the bot lane keep. Still standing besides the core. And yep, the side wall already opened up. Jump gets procced over. We're 18 minutes into the game. And they're breaking the wall with ease. They go through it like hot butter through cheese. Leoric has died 5 times. They're trying to jet propulsion here. The root. And Jojo gets jumped by the Punisher and goes down. Nice. Tranquility to keep everybody in play after Blaze initially used his bunker to safeguard the teammates. And now this has to be lights out. I mean, the Freedom Exporters have been running the show here for a while. They're going for Leoric again. It's like the 6th or 7th time that he died. And this needs to be game. This has to be game. They burn down Junkrat. And this is going to be it. Game number 1 in the best of 5 series goes to the Freedom Exporters. The American team is able to lock in a W on Inferno Shrines and therefore takes the lead in this series that will decide which team moves on to the playoffs. GG. Before we're heading into game number 2, I'm going to be honest, guys, I really suck when it comes to asking people with these sponsor videos for a favor here. Every time I have to take a video like this, it takes me at least 10 different recordings until I have it. So, just to be completely real, it would absolutely help if you guys could download Opera GX. The link is in the description. We have a sponsorship for a month. And if you download and install the browser, play around with it, see if it's maybe for you, that would really help the channel. It would help us to host more tournaments in the future, and I would really appreciate it. So that's basically it. Would be pretty awesome if you could do it. Again, only takes a couple of minutes of your time. You can watch the video, for example, directly in the new browser. Maybe you can watch a Twitch stream there. Would be absolutely awesome. So thanks in advance, and thanks for supporting the channel, everyone. Map number 2 in the best of 5. So the lead goes to the Freedom Exporters. Bit of a strange situation for the Cats, I'd say. And they quickly ban Stitches. I think we're still gonna see a very regular ban on Cho'Gall. The fun part is that the Cho'Gall bounty was so far completed 3 times. Cho'Gall was played, I believe, 4 times and hasn't lost yet. So there's that. Actually, no, 5 times. He was played today too and won. So yeah, Cho'Gall reigns supreme right now. But the 10 heroes that have been played on the previous map obviously cannot be played again. I always had that also in the best of 3 series, but in the best of 5 it really makes much more of a difference. I mean, assuming that the series doesn't end with a 3-0. But when you're heading into game number 4, game number 5, then yes, you will limit the pool a little bit. Are you going to see necessarily totally crazy comps? Not really. But you will see a lot of different stuff. And I would say, actually now, normally I would say that, for example, on the American side, with also a little bit of a different meta, you sometimes see picks that you don't see all that often in any of the European tournaments. And I was about to highlight Arthur's that was chosen by Justin earlier today, but he's actually not here. Again, they have 2 subs now, the US team. And one of them is Justin. Justin apparently had to go to work, and therefore we now have Fancy Pants in, who played the side lane for the team, so they also swapped the roles around a bit. But it's been working. I mean, they have been able to win game number 1. The blue team, after the loss, decided that they want to have first pick, first ban, so they are the ones that can lock in an early Sylvanas now, in these circumstances, to get that. Chromie and Lucio, both banned. And I would have liked to see Stitches. With or without Alexstrasza, it would have been kind of fun. Get those hooks in. Maiev for Cure though. That was something that was shut down earlier. They banned Maiev against Cure. And if you play the tournament rule where every hero can only be played once within a series, one of the things obviously that plays a bit of a role here too is not only that you want to make sure that you get your picks, you want to make sure that your opponent doesn't get them. Because if so, then the hero cannot be activated again in the series. And that's one way of just eliminating heroes that you know your opponent is actively looking for. You don't necessarily have to use your bans every single time to do that. If you see an opportunity, you can just say, okay, we're going to pick that hero for ourselves right now, if you have a player that can pull that off properly. So this is something that is pretty neat. Has been used actually in some of the amateur tournaments that I casted too. We had the Underdog Cup recently, where we let the amateur teams play, and we implemented the same rule there. And the teams actually had quite a bit of fun, because when you're looking at the amateur scene, then obviously the hero pools are smaller than when you're looking at the top level. So if you're really familiar with your opponent, you know which heroes to get rid of, and if you then just ban someone, you pick the rest away, you really thin out their pool and can use that as an extra layer of strategy. Here you can do the same, just not on the same level. But you can take some of the big ones away. Now, either way. With Garrosh and Anduin taken, we now have for the US team the next double pick. Bans on Sergeant Hammer, we have a ban on Gul'dan. So the question for now just simply what is... Okay, they're going for Tychus, and we get also Brightwing. So we're missing the main tank for the Americans. Whereas over on the left, Still need a side laner. Something to follow up on Garrosh. And this is really where the cats also have to dig a little bit deeper. Seriously. If you are 0-0, 0-1 against your opponent in this series, oof. Okay, Alarak. Alright, so we get Alarak and we get Urel. Alarak has a pretty, mixed win record so far in the tournament. It's pretty bad. So, let's see if they can make that work. Because if not, if they go 0-2 here, then this is going to be dicey. Oh my god. And we get Medivh. So, main tank Maiev essentially that we're getting from them with Medivh behind them. Guys, it's the wild one. 2 of the Spider Queen. Map number 2. Let's go. So, the cats against the Freedom Exporters. We are in game number 2. Dracula is playing Sylvanas for the blue team now. We got Hirath on Garrosh. Nano, fake Nano, aka Taichessa, on Alarak. That's gonna be a big one. Captain Rex on Anduin, and my try on Urel. A lot is going to hinge on Alarak, and Alarak is always like very hit or miss. Either he just dominates, or it's a total shit show. Now, this is interesting. We got Press the Advantage for Prismaticism on Tychus for the American team. We got Q on Medivh. Porky is now playing Maiev. This is essentially a Maiev main tank with the support that she gets from Brightwing, played by Hunter Orc, and then cures Medivh. And then we got Fancy Pants on Dehaka. So, this is going to get interesting for sure. Auto attack style Tychus. We'll see how much he really commits to this. But we had some very fun Tychus auto attacks in recent tournaments. I mean, one of them within the rhythm and hitting 500 stacks, which was absolutely bonkers. It was crazy. The minigun duration was out of this world. It lasted essentially the entire fight. It was totally nuts. Perma minigun. But we also have to keep our eye on Alarak, because if he is now starting to stack properly, this could be worth a lot for them, especially after the 4 talent is available. Urel against Dehaka at the bot lane. And right here at the top, we already get a little bit of damage in from Alarak. So again, completing this would be pretty big. So we'll see if that works out for them. But I have my eyes on Medivh and his stacks, Tychus. And yeah, auto attack style with this will be kind of cool. You can always tether, you know, some people into range. So an in the rhythm build here is definitely in the card. Just get the continuous damage out and build it as Maiev tethers people into you. Easy through the portal. That's obviously going to be one of the absolute linchpins in this game. Cures performance on Medivh. If he sets these portals up time and time again and is playing well around the shield, then they have a lot of tools to keep everybody alive. Which has to be the goal here. But they're breaking through the wall a little bit. This camp taken fairly late. Captain Rex just throwing a couple of light around with Anduin and trying to take the camp for defense. So, off we go. Top side, they make a move for Maiev, but Medivh is ready. Medivh pays attention, and there it is. We got in the rhythm on level 4. Now, the only question that really comes with that choice is what we're going to get on level 10. If it's still going to be Odin for them, or if they're getting the drill. Back in the days of old, if you would go for this particular style, you would always go drill, and we have seen that re-emerge recently once or twice. Quest completed for Alarak. Nice. Level 1 fully completed, and slowly stacking up level 4. But Tychus is going to be interesting. If he feels that he's going to get tons and tons of stacks, we might get drill. But Odin is of course still a very powerful tool to push, especially when you get the web weavers. So both possible, depending on what kind of playstyle they're using here. And it's been a while that I said that drill is a possibility. But I personally like also some of the auto attack styles that we're getting from Tychus lately. In the rhythm here, and then press the advantage. The only thing that's really important is that they're starting to get decent stacks on in the rhythm early on in the game. Ideally through Maiev setting something up, because this is something where, again, it's just an exponential game that you're getting there. So, Prismaticism is looking for those setups, or portals, that would help too. Yeah, get some hits in there. Brightwing is helping out too, and that's already 24. They take Alarak down. That's the sadism for now. Alarak with 6 stacks. And Tychus again with 24. He's working it. Getting the damage increase slowly, but this is exactly the kind of play that they need here. Tether somebody in and make him move. Now, with that said, we have immediately the turn-in attempted from the red team. Both teams have enough for a turn-in. Yeah, the tether, and can they get a kill on Sylvanas? That's dangerously close, and yep, there it is. Sylvanas goes down, Tychus gets a few more stacks together, sits at 30 as they're pressuring Anduin and nearly get a kill there. But this is 2 kills to 0. The Freedom Exporters, they are exporting a lot of freedom here. There's a lot of damage coming. So they go again for Garrosh, and they're about to take him down. Garrosh is gone, that's 3 kills right there. And on level 7, we get the Comeback Tactician now as well. Cooldown reduction is always pretty neat, so that's obviously nice. And here comes the first Web Weaver race. The early game is going great for the Freedom Exporters. 3 kills to 0, first objective in their hands, and they can pressure with this, can be very aggressive. Medivh is at 23 stacks, Tychus is at 36. All of these things are looking pretty good. 10 stacks though for Alarak, and as I said before, Alarak in the late game is gonna be very important. If he gets good damage out, Alarak can technically start absolutely wrecking things, turning it around, and create those 6.5 out of 10 moments that they are gonna be looking for. Yeah, here's the flip against Medivh. Does he have a portal? He's dead. He's dead. Cure is dead. That's all of the stacks gone. Yep, roughly 25 stacks gone from Cure. That one hurt. Nicely done by the Cats. That was an important kill. It shuts down a lot of this push, and of course, it's a bit of a disaster here. My try escapes with the gems that he's been holding. A kill against Yrel here would have been fantastic, but only a few of the walls have been opened up. This entire push was kind of shut down when Medivh died. So, yeah, nicely done. Few additional hits for Tychus. He's sitting at 40 stacks now. That's not... Oh, actually, he gets a very nice rotation through here. And they get the kill as well. So now he's at 56. Way better. So now we're starting to talk here. So in the rhythm, again, the minigun duration, that's pretty important to get all of that. So, yeah, with 50, he has like 1.5 extra seconds on the minigun. That's decent. That's decent. It's very early on. They still went, by the way, for Odin. So Commandeer Odin is in, but now that they were able to do some damage, get some kills in, they're also following up with extra damage on the fort. Alarak is trying his best. He has 19 stacks, which honestly is not that bad. Like, on a stacking level, he's doing pretty okay. He's top damage in the game as a result now, too. So if this continues, Alarak could have quite the impact in the late game. Tychus with 15,000 damage. Not bad either. That minigun will be a problem as this continues. Tychus gets attacked and gets more and more value here. Escapes through the portal though, and they get more hits in. So there's the disc as they're making a move for Yrel. Can they get the kill here? They're setting this up with Odin. Level 10 abilities are ready. A bit of a choke point situation for the blue team. Definitely not something that they wanted here. The ult used from Yrel, and Anduin is down. Yrel jumps out with all the gems that she's been holding. As we have another tether, maybe. Porky gets healed by Brightwing, but they're looking for the next connect. Ah, the Tong shut down. Tychus is also in trouble. Gets a portal and is able to move out. So they're greeding for another kill here. And it seems like they're going to get it. Yep, Yrel is gone. Gems are being collected. Can they get even more? No. That's 77 stacks now for Tychus. That's solid again. Tychus is getting good damage out, but we have to keep our eye also on Alarak. 93 sadism, definitely not a whole lot to write home about, but the level 4 talent is stacking slowly. Now, we have Web Weavers. That's the second set. 6 kills to 1 and a 1 level lead for the Freedom Exporters. Can they do some actual damage now? The bottom fort is going to lose. It's going to fall. Yeah. Even without the Web Weavers, I guess. Yes. That's already eliminated. And now the attack up at the top. Yeah, they go again for Maiev. Careful. There's the play. And Brightwing makes it out. Alarak is dead. And I think that's not going to be the only kill, is it now? They go for Anduin. Anduin gets dropped. And Sylvanas jumps out, as did already Garrosh. He has 44 gems, but that is an easy fort at the top lane. They have a level 13 talent now, of course, on top of that too. So that helps them a lot. They can move straight into the middle and take another fort out, which means that with 2 turn-ins, they've been able to take every single fort out now. Tigers is still sitting topside with Odin. Can get some damage in. Just needs to stay away from Garrosh, which he does. Alarak is back. But that's 8 kills to 1. That's all the forts destroyed. Urel comes in, but tons and tons of damage here. Specifically, of course, from Tigers, who's now at 28,000, and he's the top damage dealer in the game at this point. 75 gems, still in the hands of the Cats. They can get 2 turn-ins. But Medivh is already monitoring the movements of Garrosh to make sure that it's not going to happen that easily. Interrupt, yep, no problem. Again, just making sure that they know exactly where he is. Problem for Medivh is still the stacks that he has on the baselines, only back up to 15. But here comes the turn-in attempt again. Level 13 talents already on both sides. The interrupt is there. Careful. Alarak with a combo. Mind control. But the shield from Medivh and the ley line gets used to. They set the portal up in the back. Medivh gets attacked. And Cure is gonna die again. Yep. And loses the stacks that he had. So does Brightwing. Brightwing and Cure both down. Medivh eliminated. That's the second time now that he loses his stacks. And of course, they are also losing some ground here. With 101 stacks now on Tigers, but there is the turn-in. They had the camp at the bottom of the map, so yeah, there was always a chance that if you prolong this, that the camp is getting decent damage, but it wasn't enough. This is the first real big move for the Cats in this game. Those kills were important, and now they closed the experience gap at least a little bit. It's 1 level between the 2 teams, but now they have a chance to use those web weavers and see if they can get some serious damage on this. Yeah, use the web weavers, come in and try and take some structures out as well. Which is not going to be easy for them, especially pushing into Odin. I mean, that should be an easy defense in the middle at least. But then they're going to easily just rotate over towards the top or the bot lane. Seems like with the top lane we have the Haka already doing everything that he can to shut this down. This damage against Alarak. Alarak has 28 stacks now on level 4. Urel is already moving down to the bottom of the map, but the web weavers at the top have also been eliminated, so now they're moving back down. That's 33 stacks of gems for Fancy here, for the Haka. Isolation, pulled into the corner, and Urel makes it. Urel makes it, is able to get out, but they're following up on Tigers, or with Tigers on Garrosh. But they have to retreat here. They're all on the run. But this kid's hard with Alarak, and he might be dead. I think he dies. Alarak, he needs some help, and yeah, he doesn't make it. He goes down. So once again, state isn't reset. They come in with another portal. Hope for more kills. Can't quite get them. But they have level 16 talents. They have 9 kills to 3. They're dominant on the map again. And the stacks that we're getting here, time and time again, for Tigers are just too good. He is at an additional 4.5 seconds now for his trade, which is fantastic. And has on top of that also the sizzling attacks. So Tigers is really burning whichever target he goes for down quickly. And they have the gems for another turn-in. To be fair, the same is true of their opponents. So the blue team could get another web weaver wave. But yeah. And I mean, even more important than what they just did with these kills is they also completely shut down the objective of the Cats. Cats didn't get anything out of this. The red team is going for turn-in. So we get web weavers, and they have the boss as well. Yeah, this attack is going to be big. This is going to be a huge one. They're going to try for keeps now. I mean, the forts are gone. So they're going to go for it. 42,000 damage from Tychus, 35,000 damage from Alarak. Medivh still struggling to complete the quest. I actually don't think it's going to happen anymore in this game. He's sitting at only 2. I think Q has given up on this. He's not going to be forcing this one. But, yep, here comes the attack. Ah, the tongue missing. 16 versus 16 talents. And here comes Odin. They're coming for the Odin play and this topside keep. There's no way this survives. No way. Odin, boss, plus Web Weaver. They throw everything against it. And they have the mid and the bot lane also pressuring. Are they going to try and go a little bit further towards the core, or what's the play? Could always rotate towards the middle and make a move there where the wall is already opened up. 1.5 level of a lead, and it's not only the mid lane that gets attacked. Down at the bottom of the map, that wall gets destroyed too. So they're starting to siege a bit up here. Boss is already on the core. 1 keep and 2 walls. Are they going to be happy with that? They're sieging up a bit here. But yeah, nothing gets forced. 36 stacks for Alarak. I mean, he needs more. It started off pretty okay for him. But he's down to 90 sadism. He died 3 times, I believe. Yes, Alarak died 3 times. Set up the ley line just to retreat here. So, this is the problem. You need a bit more sadism here and also more stacks on your level 4 if you want to have a big impact on this one. But, well, here come the Web Weavers again. Once more descending for the blue team. Their first turn in was nothing. I mean, it did absolutely nothing. It was a waste of time. They got chased, they lost heroes, but more importantly, they didn't really take anything down. Now that they have their second turn in, maybe they have a shot here. The core on the blue team has, by the way, taken a little bit of damage. So the boss went through the shield and removed 1 percentage point. Anduin? No! Anduin gets dissed and Garrosh gets killed. That's how you lose an objective. Alarak was for a moment hoping that maybe he can make a play here, but it doesn't look like it. They are all trying to retreat. Now they go for Urel, and she dies too. That's the gems lost, and they're following it up with another kill, a third one as they're taking Anduin down. There's a level 20. The Freedom Exporters. So much freedom! And they try to go for the core, for the middle. What's the play here? If they're really walking into this, Tychus? Careful, my friend. So, yeah, Tychus jumps in and dies immediately. That was one of the shittiest plays that I have seen in a long, long time. So they're trying to go to... First of all, they lost the fort at the top and a fort at the bot lane. They could have defended this easily. They thought that they could have just ended the game. Tychus has no hit points, moves through the portal, gets instantly destroyed by the core. And, well, that's essentially... I mean, this is like 5 levels of disaster right there. That was free. They could have gone for a keep, they could have gone for whatever else. But now, think about this. This was an objective that was taken and was essentially completely shut down and would have gotten nothing. What we're seeing instead now is 2 forts destroyed for free. And Tychus committing honorable Sudoku. So, yeah, the fight over here, this is a 4 vs 5, by the way, and I feel that the blue team is still losing it. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous situation. That was, yeah, something on the shot call side went a little bit wrong there. Maybe they didn't understand how low Tychus was in that situation. That's, of course, something that might have been the case. And then when he gets killed, then it's just lights out there. Yeah, now we have them also going into that fight maybe a bit too early, but they want to exploit that level 20 advantage, I suppose. Tychus is there, and they are burning down Alarak. He makes it somehow, but the ley line sets up 2 more potential kills, and they're pushing this one hard. Still 47 gems, and they also want, of course, that camp. And Cpans, Deaka is dead. I don't know what exactly is going on here, but it seems to me that the Freedom Exporters are a little bit too aggressive right now. They are starting to throw this one big time. The fights are looking pretty okay for them. They have a massive, a massive extended duration on the minigun of Tychus, which really shows. But Alarak has by now also gotten to 63 stacks and has 70,000 damage. He's the top damage dealer in the game at this point. And for good reason. I mean, the whole thing that's happening here is essentially that the red team is feeding Alarak and he's saying thank you very much and turns things around and starts to kill people. So they portal up and they take Alarak down. That was an important one. Tychus, if he survives, that would be big. Mind control, and he gets killed. That's a very important one for the blue team. But the fight isn't over. Urel, though. They go for Maiev, and she's dead too. Yep. This is looking worse by the minute for the Freedom Exporters. This could have been... I don't want to say an easy victory. It's like, this is exaggerating things quite a bit. But this could have been a much easier play for them. 4 catapults, by the way. Boah, if Garrosh wasn't here, just imagine how quickly they would burn the core down. So the fort in the middle is now also gone. Not all is lost, but it's level 20 versus level 20. And the Freedom Exporters, yeah, they're having a tough one. They thought they had the game won. They really thought, okay, this is over. Game is done. Let's go core, let's end it. They would have just settled for a keep, or maybe just gone for a turn in first. It would have been a very different story. So now we're waiting for Tigers to come back and for Maya. They gotta defend with this. There's no turn in for any of these teams. If Alarak had more sadism, oh, this would be a toughie. But as it stands, he's still top damage in the game. Not by much, but he's there. So yeah, Tigers now also coming in. They are gonna defend this. Blue team is interestingly enough not pushing. They're just trying to take a little bit control of the map, push the lanes out. But that also means that they're not doing any keep damage up at the top. So yeah, main tank Maya worked so far. But now things are looking a little bit more difficult on the side of the red team. They're still doubling the kills that we are seeing from the cats. Yep. And Maiev, okay, jumping out. Tigers. The damage on Tigers is something. It is really something. That bad boy here with a bob and weave on level 20. He has 220 stacks on level 4. So that is... Well, actually, Tigers gets hit. Can he escape? If he dies, that would be a disaster. They get him out. They get him out. He is the damage dealer for them. They need to keep him in play here. Tigers has, at this point, what is this? Nearly 7 seconds increased minigun duration. Wild. It's not quite the 500 stacks that we had in one of the previous games, but this is definitely a big chunk. This is also one of the reasons why he gets targeted consistently. As long as Tigers is alive, he's just burning them down. I mean, look at the damage numbers that he brings out now. 78,000. Every single attack that he gets in, even if he just like nibbles a little bit with an auto attack, it's already a lot. If they isolate somebody and he gets a full duration through, that's essentially the hero dead right then and there. I mean, as you can see here, the only one that is saving some of these targets is Anduin. If Anduin doesn't pull those guys back out of harm's way, then Tigers is just burning every single one of them in seconds. By the way, we have 30 stacks now for Medivh. Maybe Cure is completing this quest after all at some point. Oh! Yeah, Dark Lady's call. Nearly connecting. They go again for Yrel. The tether. Yrel has an ult, but doesn't use it. Does not have to use it here. But the blue team is getting pushed back time and time again. They need to deal with Tigers, and they know it too. Tigers is just crushing them. 261 stacks. Yeah. Dodges the Dark Lady's call again. And now, right there. That's the play. Tigers alive. Can't go. Goes through the portal and is alive. Tigers still makes it. Maiev is dead, but at least Tigers is able to get away from this one. So, bad enough that Maiev died, but they are able to safeguard Tigers for now. And he can help them with the defense. But the problem is always that Garrosh is just setting up these kills over and over again. And he did the same thing right there. 69 stacks for Alarak. Nice. And they have a turn-in. They have a possible turn-in. I guess technically it could be interrupted. Boss is, yeah, a minute and 40. Nobody's going to wait for that. But, yeah, they should wait. Okay, they are actually setting this up with a ley line. Garrosh is at the top, and they know it too. It's a 4 versus 4. They can't stay too long here. They gotta rotate back eventually. Quest is now also completed on the side of Anduin, so he's completed his level 4. But there's the web weavers. We have Maiev back for this. Yeah, they're already starting to move in here. Okay. And, yeah, they're just retreating. It's a big push at the bottom of the map, mainly. Ah, mid lane. Mid lane too, but bottom of the map. This is where they are trying to take the keep down. This game is wide open. I mean, at some point, it really looked like the Freedom Experts had no chance of actually losing it. And then they just came in, hold my beer, and all of a sudden, they gave the blue team win after win. So, right now, Tigers with Odin. Yrel against Dehaka in the middle of the map. And everything else sent us around the bot lane. And, oh, Garrosh! He gets away. Yep, he gets away. What about the bottom keep? Can they save it? And it seems like they can. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. They actually can save it. These Dark Ladies calls, Draker's throwing them out like candy. They are not really connecting. He's taking the high risk ones. The cooldown is so low that there's no reason not to. Maiev, again, bullied, bodied, jumps out and escapes. And then Medivh gets killed. I think he had like 39 stacks. He was at 35 earlier in this fight. He must have gotten another 2 or 3. 38, 39 stacks for Medivh and he died again. Cure is never going to complete this quest. And it seems to me more and more like the Cats are actually going to win the game here. With Cure gone, it's a 5 versus 4. 77 stacks now for Alarak's level 4. He's at 95,000 damage. Tigers is already above 100k. Joined the 6-digit club. And this is just nasty. Tigers needs to get the kills. There's the Dark Lady's call. It finally connects. But Garrosh dies. And they get a lick on Alarak too. So now they're coming in with the damage, looking to follow up. They want to chase this. If Medivh was here, this escape would be nearly impossible for the blue team. But this is actually, this could be wild now. The keeps are all starting to fall on the side of the Freedom Exporters, but if they can get a couple of kills here, that might be the ticket back. They need to take the catapult out if they want to save the keeps. And down at the bottom of the map, nobody's making a move here, so this keep is gone. Medivh is back. I guess they go boss and then just try and end the game. It's pretty much all that you can do, and the blue team knows it, so this is going to be a fight. It's going to be a 5 versus 4 battle. This is the best chance of the Freedom Exporters to win this game again. The best chance. Nearly a 10-second increase now on the minigun duration for Tigers. 11 seconds for Garrosh. Here comes the lick on Alarak. The portals are already up. They're trying to go for Yrel. The boss with a stun attempt. The tether, and Yrel is dead. Yrel is dead as Garrosh comes back. They need this boss. Still a 5 versus 4. Alarak gets attacked again. Leyline is on cooldown. Yep, they get a tether here. Maiev. Boss still too big on HP. They're starting to retreat here. They need the heals and the choke point. Alarak kills Tigers in the choke point. Sylvanas comes in. It's a triple kill, and that is game. That's a game right there. Multiple throws on it. I mean, honestly, wild second map. But multiple throws, in my opinion, that we got from the red team. They had this in the bag. 5-man team wipe. As we have the Cats with the point on the board. They're moving in towards the core. And they lock in the victory. The Americans, they're not able to win it after all on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They lose the second map of the best of 5 series. Oh my god, what a series. What an insane series already, and we've just seen the first 2 maps. Absolutely crazy. GG and well played. Well, the Freedom Exporters kind of screwed that up. They were looking pretty darn good in game number 2. I already thought they had this and was thinking 2-0 is going to be tough for the Cats. But then they kind of threw it a little bit. There were some decisions that were definitely not on point, and the Cats took advantage of it and actually turned the game around. So a big 6.5 out of 10 moment as the Cats are winning map number 2. And in this best of 5 series now we're going to game 3. So 20 heroes unavailable, so we're slowly getting there, but it's interesting. There was so many, honestly, there were so many moments where I thought, okay, this is just basically it. And I believe that Cure dying 3 times on Medivh makes him now also the first Medivh player that did not complete the quest and lost with Medivh in the tournament. So yeah, it's kinda... It was a bit crazy, because at some point he essentially had it completed already. The last fight also, they lost the 5 versus 4 as they were trying to go for the boss, the throw pit there. I mean, they wanted to force the fight, that's the whole idea. But then they funnel into that little choke point, and Alarak takes full advantage of it. We've been keeping track of all of the Alarak stacks on level 4, and that was just too much to handle. So now we have Murden and Shogal banned out. Hogga Chromie also got the boot. And, well, in comes Sergeant Hammer as our first pick. That's a very aggressive Hammer pick. Hammer as a first pick, been a while that I've seen that. I mean, really been a while. So, let's see how the cats react there. We haven't seen a bounty attempt in this series yet. I think both of the teams are just very, very focused on just simply winning it. We are guaranteed a minimum of 4 maps though. So, once that we're heading into map number 4, maybe, you know, the teams are looking at what's available. And they're thinking about also completing a bounty in the process. Once that you remove more and more heroes with every single map that has been played out, some of those things on the list start to look interesting. Illidan with Hunt, for example, depending on the map. So we get the full smog pick on the blue team side with Rega and Gul'dan. Yeah, and now with the commitment to Sergeant Hammer this early on, I want to see some follow-ups. We get Tyrael and we get Deckard Cain. So, Chromie has been banned. I think this is also, maybe this plays a bit of a role in all of this as well. Maybe the cats were thinking about Sergeant Hammer, ban out Chromie because she's still a very good tool against Sergeant Hammer. The Freedom Exporters see this and they're like, you know what, let's go and pick her ourselves. Chromie can't be played against her. A couple of other heroes are already eliminated as well. So, helps. Falset gets banned too. So yeah, at least you don't have any kind of global that can control the side lanes. Vikings up, just saying. There's a big map and Vikings up. If you want to go for a very strong 4-man here with the Freedom Exporters, then you could go Vikings. You have Tyrael for a bit of a shield. Potential Judgment. I mean, again. But the final ban. So, the red team gets rid of... Well, they're getting rid of ETC. So no jumps on Sergeant Hammer. Well, first of all, no stage dive as a pseudo-global, and therefore also no jumps on Sergeant Hammer. You can always play this, of course, with a mosh pit. But ETC has been played a couple of times now in the side lane position with stage dive. And since most of the globals are already gone, there's that. Now, what is the blue team going to do now against us? Imperius and Chen. Alright, 2 frontliners already. We get Imperius likely as the main tank, and then Maitri with his Chen that he loves to play. So I suppose this gives us our front line. But for the NA team, bit of a moment of truth right there. What is... I want to see what the side lane is going to be. Well, the Q actually is also going to be pretty interesting. Is he going to go for a mobile assassin or... No, Zul and Malthael, triple front line. Tyrael, Zul, Malthael with Sergeant Hammer behind them. Alright, so they're going to be sieging up on this. And... Yep, that gives us the final pick. So, what is the blue team now going to do? It's game number 3. Game number 3 in the best of 5. We have a pretty solid comp for the Freedom Exporters. Mainly centered around Sergeant Hammer as the only range damage and trying to protect her. And Zagara for Nano. Alright, so Garden of Terror, it's set up. Let's go. We got our 3rd map between the cats and the Freedom Exporters. So, game number 3. Who's pulling ahead? Which team is gonna take the lead here? On the left, we got Drakia on Gul'dan. We currently have Hirath on Imperius, Nano on Zagara. Again, we're gonna keep an eye a bit on the level 10 talent. Could be technically a bounty, even though I doubt it a bit. And we got Captain Rex on Rega and Maitri on Chen for the blue team. For the Americans, Cure on Zul. We're getting Prismaticism on Sergeant Hammer. Hunter Orc as sub number 1 is playing Deckard Cain. And Fancy Pants, the 2nd sub of the day with Malthael. And then Porky with Tychus. No, Tyrael. Okay. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to see who takes it here. Game 2 was a wild ride. An absolutely wild ride. Now in game number 3, maybe some chances to turn things slowly around, stabilize a bit. It's a new start. Essentially, they reduced it now to potentially 2 more maps. Could even see, of course, a full 5 mapper if they're really fighting this all out. I want to see how this is going to plan out once we have the level 7 talent for Sergeant Hammer. Also, let's say that we're getting good stacks for Malthael, assuming that he goes for last rides. This should have a pretty big impact now too. But all the way up at the top lane, there's our 1v1. That's where we have Chen in action right now. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, everybody is still trying to just like burn the waves down. I mean, it's Gul'dan plus Zagara on the same lane, so these minion waves don't survive for anything but like half a second. Both of them just unload on the minion wave and then it explodes. So they can push this very aggressive. On top of that, we have the next camp about to be claimed. So top right, we get basically the same thing. Porky, Airboy, they're making their way there. Q had to retreat. Could have tapped the fountain, doesn't want to waste the cooldown there. That last game, I still can't believe that he was never able to complete the quest. Killed 3 times, and a lot of times when he was at 30 or above stacks for midi. That just hurt. It really did. So now that the party continues down here, we have Tyrael trying to create some space for them, and actually they're getting really nice damage in on Gul'dan. I was expecting Deckard Cain to maybe come in and hit him with a stick and try and take him out there. But no, they're just defending. Sergeant Hammer could have maybe also sped up and get close enough to get 2 hits. Either way, Gul'dan took a beating and had to retreat. Malthael is just taking the camps, and all the way up at the top, Mitra is the one that has to deal with them. So the seeds are up. Well, the first one is going to be up in 10 seconds. But they are already getting very aggressive at the bottom of the map. Those siege giants are doing some damage to the first tower. We have in the mid lane Zul. Zul roaming between lanes, and then Malthael on the side lane too. There's a lot of wave clear that they're currently using to try and pin down the opponent's team. So there's a lot going on for the Freedom Exporters. Zagara with the Envenomed Spines here. Earth Living Enchant for Rhaegar. And Chen just all tied top. No problem for my try. He loves to play as Chen. And again, we've seen great Chen games for him. Haven't seen that Lily choice, that Lily pick as a follow-up that would give them the Panda bounty. But now they go for Nano. And on this, for Taichessa. Fake Nano. And if Deckard Cain was maybe a little bit closer and could have locked this down properly right here, then Zagara might have been first blood in the game. Because so far we're 3 minutes in and nobody has fallen yet. The seed is still up. And it seems like Sergeant Hammer is slowly dealing at least with the plants. But they are again going for Gul'dan for just a second. Cure might be in trouble and is first blood. Cure goes down. First blood has been called. The cats with a kill. Good for them. And of course on level 7 here now we finally have the Hava Siege mode. So this is where things are going to get exciting for Prismaticism. Now he's a real boy. A real hero. He can do things. He can move. Not just a fake tower. But the blue team is already trying to push this now that they have a bit of an edge. And they're getting very nice damage in at bot lane. Even the connect here from Imperius against Tyrael. Are these 2 brothers or something? So, yeah. Riding the money pig. Glorious. Amazing. Yeah, maybe another hit. And honestly, if Tyrael was my brother, I would also just like punish him the entire time. He's a shitty guy. Oh my god, I cannot believe that he survived. And Porky is also still in play. I thought after Rhaegar was able to get out, that them turning it on Tyrael might drop him, but it didn't. Sergeant Hammer also still alive. They are really good at saving their heroes at this point. There's like 1 kill that we got in the 5 minutes that we're in this game right now, nothing else. But we had certainly a lot of opportunities. First seed went over to the red team. They still save Sergeant Hammer here in the middle. But the pressure is coming from the blue team, for sure. The cats are, after the win that they got on the last map, they are now pushing this. Hunter Orc with Deckard Cain is just doing his best to keep everyone alive, topping those potions up and getting mad value out of them, but blue team is eager. They're keen to get some big lead here that they can use. Level 10 abilities in just a moment, and then we're going to see what exactly Zagara is going to do for the team. If we're going to get anything nasty there. I mean, I guess not, but nope, we get more. More, not Nidus, no risk. Again, this is the important one. You need to go to the playoffs. Just participating in the playoffs allows you to play so many more games where you can complete bounties. So yeah. The Keck play and the kill. Imperius, main tank Imperius is gone. And this should give them a second seed. So, yeah, they're going to be happy about that. Seed number 2 in the hands of the Freedom Exporters, as they are exporting freedom everywhere on Garden of Terror. So, Zul is rotating down to the bottom of the map. That might even be a kill on Drakia, and he should fall, and he does. Gul'dan goes down, so not only were they able to kill Imperius earlier, now they take Gul'dan down, they siege up at the top. Rhaegar and, well, Imperius are both trying to save the day somehow for them, but that also brings us to the bot lane attack from Malthael and Zul, I guess. By the way, Malthael was able to get his first last right stack too, so that's a very early cooldown reduction that we get for him. Sergeant Hammer. Yeah, about to get away. Fat Illidan jumping after, and they are escaping with everything that we're holding. But the camp at the bottom of the map is now getting taken too. The lead in experience again for the Freedom Exporters. Yeah, the red team is doing good. They're doing well. They are getting damage in on the bottom fort. Zagara is under pressure. The next seat is coming up. And just generally speaking, this is looking very, very nice for the red team again. It's not a crazy lead or anything, but they are pressuring the opponent on the objective. They are able to put a little bit ahead of experience. And they've also taken a tiny lead in kills. Again, nothing crazy. It's not like they're massively ahead or anything, but still. So let's see if they can this time run those advantages and get a little bit farther ahead on that. But taking one fort out is already a big first step. We're trying to go for Imperius. Very optimistic last rides. I might pretend that there's a little bit of coordination that has gone wrong there. Horrify used, but the Siege Giants are still stolen by the Freedom Exporters. And just on the damage side, we now have 25,000 for Sergeant Hammer. But we also have 18,000 for Imperius, the top damage dealer on the blue team. Drops his ult on Malthael. Skeleton Angels are already out. Zul not stingy with his R button either. The Lul Nado, by the way, is always a highlight. So yeah, Lul Nado is in the house. Malthael is now pushing at the bottom of the map. Gul'dan finally taking the top damage for the blue team. It was about time. Sitting at 21,000 earlier, it was Imperius. That was a bit embarrassing, you know, the front line do more damage than you. Imperius is always known that he can get some good damage onto the board, but still. 13 versus 13. Blue team doing their thing. Red team still trying to be aggressive. And of course, there's Garden Terrors now on the line. There's a chance to get the next set of Garden Terrors. Malthael has last rights again. So they might have a chance here. Ancestral is out too. So the two cooldowns, yeah, you could burn quite a lot here. Zul is dealing with the bot lane that was pressuring for their fort. But everybody else is starting to shift their focus onto the sea. Because again, this could be the first set of Garden Terrors. Zagara gets interrupted. Yep. 13 talents on both sides. And they're jumping in on Tyrael. The connect! And Porky is alive. Gets the heals. Chen is not able to get the kill. Insane. Just insane. Imperius should have died 5 times over from the looks of it. And he somehow made it. Now we have Malthael also moving in from the top potentially. They're going again for Rhaegar. Ancestral has not been used yet. But that last right could turn the fight. If they find a good target, there's a huge opportunity for Malthael to get himself a second stack. They push the opponent away, start to control the space with the skeletal mages and also Sergeant Hammer. Yeah, Gul'dan, and that's a kill. And the second last right stack for Malthael. That's 10-second cooldown reduction right here, right now. And we get Garden Terrors. The Murricans, ladies and gentlemen. It is Team Murka, and they are starting to get seriously ahead. They're nearly on level 16 talents now. We have Sergeant Hammer with 41,000 damage, and they want the remaining 2 forts, which they should be able to get now. Malthael is pushing at the top. The cooldown reduction is going to be big, of course. Fort in the middle should fall, and there's the 16 talent, which is going to make all of this so much easier for them as well. Fort, I mean, this one is not even being defended anymore. They're going to lose this 100%. Bottom of the map, same thing has happened now. So they are falling farther and farther back. The cats are played to the wall. Their little world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. They are losing walls at keeps, and they might even take some damage on the keeps themselves. This is disastrous. This objective is working for the Freedom Exporters. Working overtime. Needs the race, honestly. So, yeah, keep in the middle. Is losing hit points. Up at the top. The wall about to be destroyed. Gul'dan completed his level 1. Doesn't even have level 16 yet. Cure is gone. So, yeah, Cure falls down here. That's a kill that they get. But the keep, again, down to 50% of its HP. And the Freedom Exporters are now slowly retreating. The opponent has just picked up level 6 talents. Level 16 talents. We have now also the Crows of Saliva. We have the Valor's Pursuit. And yeah, we'll see. Also, absolutely on brand, the Freedom Exporters, of course they picked Napalm with Sergeant Hammer. I mean, Napalm is a pretty good tool if you want to export some freedom, as we learned in the past. So, there we go. Could drop some bombs as well, but yeah, we don't have Junkrat here. Grenade or two. Then again, my try. Lulnado, okay, and yeah, he makes it. He survives. He gets out, but well, actually, can he get a kill? Nope, 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 nope. Marcel jumped on it and wanted to get it, but whew, that was a close call. This is a big push at the bottom of the map now too. Okay, and that's the fort destroyed. Actually, at this point, the one thing that we also have to point out is that we have, I talked about the Lulnado a little bit earlier, so no stay a while and listen. Everybody has a Kindle these days. Who still has books? I gotta admit that I was always in the, oh, I want real books camp until I started traveling more and more and more, and at some point, just Kindle or ebooks in general became so much more convenient. It's absolutely crazy. Good book every now and then is quite nice, but yeah. Ebooks are incredible. So, next seed is up. This will be the second one for the blue team. But, well, Last Rights is back up. They could try and get the kill here. Last Rights, and that is hit number 3. 3 stacks on Malthael's ult. That's 15-second cooldown reduction. They're getting there. They're really getting some value on this, and this is also 4 kills to 2. So, yeah, not shabby. They're pushing through the middle again. The whole goal is to, of course, take down the keep over here. So let's see if they're able to make that a thing. Right now we have the seed at the bottom of the map. Nobody has really gone for it yet. It's not only keep in the middle, by the way. There's also catapults that are pushing the keep at the top. But they are falling back. Apparently, they are still remembering game number 2 when they were trying to go for the core, and then all of a sudden everything fell apart for them. So, yeah. They go for the seed instead. I thought that they would push for the keep. I thought, okay, at this point, with Sergeant Hammer, everything that you hold here, just go push for the keep. Even if you lose the hero, it's kind of worth it. But yeah, they did. So up at the top, my try. Tied here. Down at the bottom of the map, we have the red team snacking up some additional minions, which gives them, of course, a lot of experience. That gets them closer and closer to level 20, which is nearly ready for them. And yep, mid lane, there we got it. So we get the Mortal Wound, Ultra Capacitors, we got the Lulnado upgraded into the more Nados, and the Holy Arena with Malthael obviously buying back when he has to. So they try to go for the isolation plays with Chen. Last rights, and Chen is still alive. If they would have just used it for Imperius, it would have been another stack, but they get the kill regardless. This needs to be. I mean, at this point again, you have the Storm Talent advantage over your opponent. If you don't exploit it now, when are you ever going to do it? So one keep has to fall. That's exactly what they're going to go for. So keep in the middle, gets pushed, and will be destroyed. Yeah, they're going to get this one. I hope somebody please hit it. Alright, there it is. The Napalm took it out. So they can get another seed as well, which puts them once more into the pole position on the seed count. And the blue team is actually willing to engage into this, aren't they? Would be a bit surprised, honestly. They still don't have Storm Talents. I guess they saw Sergeant Hammer at the top and were thinking, okay, let's see if it's a trap, but Sergeant Hammer is never going to be all alone up at the top lane in a situation like this. And they saw also the channel on the seed, so yeah, just moved out, Just the more NATOs, by the way, glorious. So yeah, more NATOs everywhere. Blue team about to hit level 20. Shen moving in deep once more. No, well, there's the last rights. They are just dropping last rights on him to get him low. Not even for the kill necessarily. Malthael is down though. That Holy Arena came a bit too late, but they get a counter kill on Imperius. So yeah, that's at least a win. Still sieging up slightly, and Malthael bought back, so it's going to be a 5 versus 4 once that he reconnects with the rest of the team. But we have level 20 now on each side. It gives us Haunt, that gives us Impervious. This is where it kind of fell apart a bit for the Freedom Exporters in game number 2, when the opponent had level 20 as well. Structurally though, the red team is so far ahead. They destroyed all the forts, they destroyed an extra keep. So they are looking extremely good structurally and just with map control in general. How much farther they can go with this, that's the big question. So, yeah, next camp is taken. They're still working on the siege giants. They're going to take those 2. And there's another seat up. And, well, this is going to be another set of garden terrors. Off we go. This has to be a bit of a checkmate position. The Freedom Exporters, they want to make this happen now. They want to take at least another keep out, if not win the game here. And with the garden terror at the bot lane, they definitely should. The other one is all the way up at the top, so that's another problem. Shen might be going there. Horrify! And he's dead! The Horrify from Gul'dan kills Tyrael. That is such a shitty start into this push with the Garden Terrors. That's insane. That is honestly a bit insane. Now it's a 5 versus 4, but they get the counter kill. Imperius is just taken out time and time again. 5 times that he now died. 86,000 damage from Sergeant Hammer. Top keep, bot keep, all getting attacked. There's the Gul'dan kill and the extra stack for Malthael. Yep, that's the keep gone. Topside keep will fall too. This is game. The Freedom Exporters, they lost to the Cats in the group stage. But right now here at the last chance qualifier, they are going to take the lead in the best of 5. This is going to be inevitable. Right now, Fat Illidan jumped on Sergeant Hammer again, gets killed a moment later, but this is clearly the lead for the Freedom Exporters. They have a fantastic shot at making it into the playoffs as they take out the Cats on Garden of Terror. Well played, GG. Well, game number 4. There's the lead for the Freedom Exporters. So, we got the Cats down 1 map in the best of 5 series. This is match point. Match point number 1 for the red team. And also important to note, 30 heroes are now eliminated. 30 heroes have been played, cannot be played again. So this is where it starts to become a bit more interesting when it comes to just the raw picks that we're getting here. Vikings being banned is a little bit on the sad side for the Cats, but hey, whatever. So, with 2 subs on their lineup and with a ping disadvantage playing from NA on the European server, we now have the Freedom Exporters with 2 wins to 1. Now, honestly, there's so many things in the series right now. First of all, this could have been a 3-0 win for the Freedom Exporters. Just think about game number 2 and what happened there. They had it in the bag. They had such a great shot of winning the series. They could have made this a 3-0. Now, there is a chance for the Cats to bring it back. But the Freedom Exporters, they are in the driver's seat right now. They are the ones that have the shot to end the game and the series right here and advance to the playoffs. At the same time, as I said before, for the Cats, it's a really strange situation to be in because they were supposed to be the strongest team coming out of the groups that didn't directly qualify. The Freedom Exporters had a horrible, horrible showing in the group stage. They were eliminated so quickly, I was insanely surprised, but who cares? At the end of the day, nobody's going to ask that anymore if they make it now. So this is what really matters, and this is where the Cats are falling short a bit. It's actually kind of crazy. This is the 3rd match where they could, with a victory, qualify directly for the playoffs. They already lost 2 of those. Winner bracket final, losers bracket final of their group. And now, here in the last chance qualifier, they are struggling on the last series. Chromie as a first pick. So Chromie is the first pick. Cholga got banned again. That doesn't really shock. Again, we talked a lot about the cats, their priorities and what they like to pick. We now get Hogger, and we got Lucio on the red team side for Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow, still one of my probably favorite maps. With the double boss that you have and with the tributes, you can do a lot here. I mean, again, there's always Battlefield, which unfortunately has been banned. Tomb, which is great. And probably the most standard map these days, I would still argue, is probably Infernal Shrines. But Cursed Hollow, definitely a great map too. And now we got Thrall and we have Tyrande. So, Thrall and Tyrande for the blue team. Yeah, you can already tell that there's at least, you know, there's a little bit of pressure on the hero pool now. Previously, it was, I think, more so the Freedom Exporters that played with Thrall. But right now, we have it for the cats. And they got Tyrande with this, so if they are able to lock a target down properly, could even get Varian here. If they can just lock a target down properly, they have an actual shot at blowing it to pieces right away with Chromie. So there is definitely a chance. Imagine Varian moving in, stuck a couple of CC, Hunter's Mark, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you just have Chromie and she just comes in and drops them. The tank role is going to be important. Anubarak and ETC have both been banned, but again, Varian is up. Could, of course, also been taken now on the red team side. And they do! They actually take it away! They take it away. They're taking Varian and they claim Li Ming. So now they have taunt into a combo from a mage. That leaves the cats still looking for a tank. But that was a nice choice from the Freedom Exporters. Arthur's as the follow-up. Makes sense. They get Arthur's instead. He's swapping through skins right now. I'm not sure if Arthur's was really planned. I think they really wanted Varian. And we get Genji. Okay, so it's getting interesting here. Game number 4. And on the right side, final pick for the 4th game. Maybe the last one in this best of 5 series here. What is Kyo going to play? What are you going to get from him? Kyo's choice. And it's going to set us up for the 4th map. It's match point. First match point for the Freedom Exporters. We're going to have to... We might go the distance on this. But Cure with... Abathar. Let's go. Abathar is in the house. And we're going to game number 4, Cursed Hollow. Game on. We have map number 4. Match point number 1. On the left, Captain Rex with Tyrande. We got Hirath on Arthur's, going for the Frost Presence on level 1. Nano on Genji, we got Drakia on Chromie, and Maitrai on Thrall. To the right side of the map, the Freedom Exporters with Cure on Li Ming, locking in Force Armor as the level 1. We got on top of that Porky with Varian, Hunter Orc on Lucio, Prismaticism is playing with Abathar, and we got Fancy Pants, aka Yavoy, on Hogger. So, some serious Abathar action over here. I like it. We get some Abathar together with Varian, so that's already annoying. And obviously Hogger is another one where you can just always drop a symbiote. If you have it on Lucio, then he can chase essentially anyone down. Mega annoying. But the blue team, they wanted to go for a sniper comp, and they couldn't get Varian, so they're going for Arthur's instead, who with the Howling Blast can help a lot here. Could be interesting to see them just get that Chromie Arthur's comp going throughout the game. And then obviously they also have Genji here with them, which is another nice tool. Genji, by the way, talking about him, is already moving towards the top lane. And down at the bottom of the map, wow, Thrall just eats the combo from Cure directly. This is going to be a big, it could be a potentially big win for the Freedom Exporters. If they are taking this, they move on to the playoffs. After a very shaky start in the tournament. But, yeah, Abathar is now taking over at the bottom of the map. So Abathar is currently holding the experience there on the gate. We'll also go for Mule. We had no bounty attempt, by the way. There's not a Locust build on Abathar. So, just going for total standard on this one. And Thrall, yeah, he's going to push this a little bit. It's kind of funny also to see Prismaticism on this. Not something that I expected for this series, but hey, I'm totally here for it. The first tributes are soon coming up. And in the mid lane, the first tower is about to fall. So yeah, they're taking this one out quickly. Trying to get a hold of Cure here. The Frozen Tempest is working it for them. So they're trying to go for Varian. And the combo unleashed. Howling Blast should be back up and is. And they're getting it set up for Varian. Some nice and easy damage as Porky is retreating. And they get the entire wall destroyed. Assisted obviously by the camp that they took too. Yeah, it's not a bad start for them. But we have now Charged Blast for Li Ming. So they're going also into a lineup, but they're really trying to leverage the taunt on Varian and using Li Ming together with that. So full on spec into the magic missiles, at least for now, from Cure. So this could be a wild one for them. But yeah, we got the push from Nano already jumping back up towards the top. Just poking that out a bit. And again, we have down at the bottom of the map, or in the middle, next camp coming through, top side also, Siege Giants, wall is about to go down, Q already poking against Li Ming, or trying to, taking the wall out, opening up a couple of additional avenues for later, and we have the first tribute up. So, tribute time on Cursed Hollow, first one, first objective is in, Q, I think is going to get this one for free. Yep, there's the lock, and that was an easy one. Gets the turn in the tribute for free, and I think Chromie is also, yeah, it doesn't get more free than that. Easy freebie, Chromie goes down, and that is first blood. First tribute and first blood. Great start again for the Freedom Exporters. I think they're about to lose Varian though. Howling Blast. Oh, Porky. Yeah, and he dies. Genji came in, Duranda was way too much damage, and now they're even going for Cure. And guys, that's another kill. The cats! The cats take down 2, but they lose Genji. So Genji goes down. It's 2 kills to 2 in total. And this is all still with Abathon not having a copy available. So this is still with him just contributing the symbiote in these fights. We still get Calamity, by the way. And Abathon, the slug, the king, down at the bottom of the map. Trying to mule this up. There's not really a whole lot of mule for him right now. The blue team's fort has already taken some damage. And, yep, the rotation of Porky down to the bottom of the map. So, they are trying to also catch him here in the middle. Yeah, the tribute is, by the way, up in a moment. But Captain Rex is totally destroyed. If you, with Tyrande, get hit that hard, you have no chance. And the damage output from the combo against Thrall just leaves him with nearly no hit points left. That's 2 more kills picked up by the Freedom Exporters. And they get the second tribute. This is looking fantastic. There was a moment in the middle where the blue team got 2 kills. But now they are in more or less full control. Even Arthas gets taken down. So Arthas now obliterated too. Cure is getting big damage with these combos whenever he's teed up by Varian. And the blue team is struggling. They're so far behind in experience already. That's an early level 10, and that will allow you to take some of these structures out. Or maybe even go for a boss here. We'll see what they're going to do with it. Either way, this is a great start. And we get the monstrosity. What? That is not a bounty. I'm a little bit confused as to what is happening right now. Monstrosity is not a bounty. So I'm not quite sure if they're actually thinking, hey, we actually want to take this. Or if they think that's a bounty. But I would assume that they know that's not a thing. So they actually go for a monstrosity place, and they get a double kill here. And now they can go for the boss again, even if the blue team hits level 10 abilities. So, yeah, the attacks, they keep coming here against the boss, against the blue team, who finally pick up 1 tribute at the top, well, because it wasn't contested. Syndragosa, by the way, for Arthur, so that means that they can engage, but that means that he's also lacking a little bit of his, survivability that he normally would have in a situation like that. But, yeah, we'll see. Right now, the boss at the bot lane is going to march through that fort. You could go for a double boss play if they wanted to. And, yep, that's what we're getting. Double boss from them. Monty the monstrosity. Where's Monty? They used it already. I think they used it and lost it. But yep, still a little bit weird. I'm actually really curious if that was intentional or not. I mean, who would you copy here? There's no insane copy target, but still, you can go for Augur copy. So it's surprising that we get the monstrosity. But I don't think that even if they thought the monstrosity would be a bounty, that they would go for it. They have they actually completed, gone for a single... I don't think they've gone for a single bounty now that I think about it. I think it's one of the few teams that the entire time just said nope, no bounties. So yeah, they haven't done a single bounty yet. I don't believe for a second that they thought, okay, we're gonna start things up with a monstrosity bounty. I really think this is just prismaticism saying yeah, we're gonna get value out of this. So with 7 kills to 2, they have a level 13 talent advantage now. Yeah, here comes the action, and it's Cure that falls first. That's the one that needs to reset. They're gonna lose more now. They're gonna lose more. Lucio is gone. Varian jumps away, and Porky gets murdered as well. The Cats, they get the triple kill. They get the momentum. They lost a lot on the map. They lost 2 of their forts, and they're losing now also the wall at the top, on their top side keep. But they finally have a little bit of momentum for themselves, so they can try and get the game back on track. And just on the raw damage numbers, now that they pick up their own level 13 talent, we have nearly 20,000 damage for Li Ming and 14,000 for Genji. Li Ming dying is essentially the end of the fight for them. They can still do some damage with any kind of symbiote combo through Abathar, but let's face it, it is oftentimes highly unlikely that when Li Ming falls, they still have the damage output that they need. Li Ming needs to be the one to come in, obliterate targets, get the burst damage connected, get the reset, and then just continue the party. So, yeah. But again, we have 2 forts already eliminated. Monty is back up in a moment, so yeah, Abathar could use the monstrosity again. And there's the curse. So, curse number 1. How much damage can they do with this? And this is actually a really good one where you can also try and leverage the monstrosity if you find a lane that is unattended. Down here, we just have the symbiote pushing this out. Monstrosity not used, push through the middle, and Chromie actually going for fast forward now with their level 16 talent. Yeah, and they are burning through that fort. No chance of holding this. No level 16 talent advantage yet either. We have a 1 level lead currently. That's all that they got here. And with the fort gone, they are gonna take down some of the keep walls. They're already jumping over. Even with the Hoarder pull, they won Thrall. They're getting close. Can they take him down? Might try. Here's Syndragosa. And the heals are a bit too much for them to handle. They wanted the easy and cheap kill and they couldn't get it. Monstrosity is still not used, by the way. Could be used at the bot lane. Would give them value. In the team fight, they lose Varian. Yep. Team fight battle still raging on. And down at the bottom of the map, Keep loses a couple of hit points. They open the wall up. But, yeah, no monstrosity used. No value there. We get now the network carapace. No, we get the adrenaline boost. My bad. And Mirror Ball for Li Ming. So 6 kills to 7 now. And they have level 16 talents, but they're still waiting for Varian to come back. So, monstrosity up at the top. We'll see how much he actually takes care of that. If we're going to see that survive a bit longer. It's tricky now to get good monstrosity value because the lanes are so far pushed out already that it's tricky to get decent value and not immediately lose it. So you can tunnel it to the Nexus, for example, and should, which is what they're currently doing, and then you can just set it up again. So slowly get some stacks together and just start building that up, which is what he's doing. And we'll see how long he can keep it alive. But yeah, 4 stacks right now, nothing crazy, but again, you can get some value out of this, especially if you pin your opponent down at the bottom of the map by just posturing there and create some space at the top there. There's the kill. That's the type of play that they need. The taunt and bam, Cure is ready with a full-on combo. And now they can go for the boss again. Or try. Might try. Yeah, they are willing to at least posture. They're willing to commit. Seems like they might. And Lucio gets killed right away. Too easy. Now Li Ming is destroyed. They get at least Turan as a counter kill, but Porky falls too. That's 3 heroes now gone. And that's exactly what can't happen. If you are scouting with someone like Lucio the way that they are currently doing here, then you need to be ready that you can jump out. If you get just killed like this, then it just, yeah, takes everything down. So Monty at the top will probably have to tunnel back out once again. My try. Is trying to take it out. We have 15 stacks now for the monstrosity, but can easily start to fall back here, open the top lane up a bit more and push that out. And actually, they're still keeping it here. Yeah, Thrall is making a quick play for the camp, so it's unlikely that they're going to lose anything on the keep itself. Well, actually, as I say that, the catapult moves in and will be in range. So there's going to be a few shots at least through the catapult. Well, that's some damage at least. Still a 1-level advantage for the Freedom Exporters here. But the blue team is starting to look a lot better in these team fights. Oh, that needs... Okay, gets away. I was about to say, might have to tunnel out here. And it does. So, yep. Tunnels back down towards the bottom of the map. Prismaticism is doing this pretty alright now. So he is really attempting his best to get big value out of it. And they might get damage on the bottom keep as a result. So, yeah, missing out on one minion wave though, that's a problem. But up here, they are taking them down one after another. It's a triple, baby. 3 heroes have been dropped. They're hoping for a bit more, but I suppose Genji is going to be able to get away. And yeah, EX strikes out. Q is missing the combo. But the fight started with a triple kill, and that was big. Now we got the monstrosity at the bottom of the map. So yeah, moves out real quickly. It opens up an opportunity to take some hit points off the bottom keep, and they can go back towards the core too. So some pretty decent moves here. Monstrosity is about to fall. This time, no, Genji is actually not venturing out that far because he's a bit afraid that the rest of the team is going to jump in and take him down. So yeah, nicely done. Monstrosity is still in play and can therefore tunnel back towards the core. So they are getting the boss, more pressure at the bottom keep, and rotate the monstrosity towards the middle. With level 20 just around the corner for them now. This is looking better and better for the Freedom Exporters. They had some really dicey moments in the last couple of minutes, but that fight over the last tribute at the top side, that was worth a lot. Getting those kills, getting the control, and more importantly, getting the tribute, because if the tributes get claimed by the Cats now, it's a curse against the red team. So they need to maintain that. Monstrosity is still pushing the lanes. Abathar is sitting at the top now, muling this up. Not a single fort has been lost on the red team side. Li Ming with 36,000 damage, very comfortably in the top spot in the game, not only on the red team. And Tyranda's, funnily enough, the top damage dealer for the Cats. I suppose that's Starfall doing some real work here. With level 20, we now get the Hive Mind, and we got the Secret Stash. Boss is pushing at the top lane now. The boss earlier has done some damage on the keep from the bot lane, but not enough. But now they are, of course, hoping to at least take a keep out here. We'll see if they can. They got the level 20 talent. And at some point, you really need to make sure that you're getting some advantage out of this. Hogger is here, but he's now making his way over from the mid lane slowly. Yeah, keep is low. And they should be able to take this one out. Hogger is pushing in the middle, so he is trying to join the fun. And the boss has not taken the keep out yet. But with everybody else moving in, they're getting it. And we have Monty doing work. Yeah, Monstrosity is actually quite nice. I like what he's doing with this. It's a bit of a shame that we're not getting the Locust build on top of that for the bounty. But still, I like it. So one keep is gone. Keep in the middle has taken damage. Keep at the bot lane has taken more damage. And they're still just setting up some traps. That gets sniffed out by Tyrande pretty much right away. Tyranda's just sitting there, it's like, no, not on my watch. It's happened a few too many times in this game already. I'm not going to give you this one. You're not just going to blow one of us to Kingdom Come and then take the lead here again. Keep in mind, if the Cats lose this game, lose this map, they are out of the tournament. They need to win this to force game number 5. And they are with the back to the wall now. So level 20 talents on both sides. And the blue team is cursed again with the next tribute taken. Curse against the blue team. Oof, that is dicey. That's 2 curses now from the Freedom Exporters against their opponents. Whereas the Cats were so close to get a curse themselves and maybe turn the game around on the back end of it. But they just couldn't get that tribute. Now Monstrosity is again getting attacked. Thrall is getting pushed at the bottom of the map. They're attacking the middle. And they're just poking, poking, and poking. The keep at the bot lane is now gone. And the Freedom Exporters. Yeah, they are about to export a lot of freedom. Polish team is already feeling extremely free. Maybe not free enough yet, though. The red team coming in for a kill. They're trying to, and they couldn't take Arthas down just yet. But they can take down that keep, can't they? Yeah, Monty is gone, gets sundered and destroyed. The keep still standing, and can they get one more hit in? The curse still active, and the core is soon going to get attacked too, and that's the final keep gone. I mean, honestly, time alone is going to win this game for the Freedom Exporters right now. If they don't hardcore int, then they should have this one in the back. Arthas is gone. Then again, remember game 2. Arthas is gone. Genji is dead as well, and this is likely the beginning of the end. Thrall tries to escape the taunt on Toranda. They take her down, 15 kills to 9. And this is game. This is it. The Freedom Exporters, they qualify for the playoffs. They take the best of 5 victory. And the Cats, unbelievably, 3 times they were in a position where they could have qualified. 3 times they lost the series. Absolutely crazy. They must believe it. But congratulations to the red team. They move on to the playoffs. GG.